Guys, welcome back to my recruitment channel. I hope you all are doing great. Friend, in this video I'm going to show you the live interview with the Java candidate. The interviewer person is taking the interview of Java candidate. So I have recorded their interview and pasted in this video. This video will be helpful for those people who are about to appear for the Java candidate. Want to know that what are the mandatory questions are asked during the interview of the Java profile. Also, it is helpful for the recruiter person who want basically in the recruitment. This video will help us for the screening of our profile. If we also have some awareness about the questions, some questions related to the Java, so during the screening, while talking to the person in a recruitment process, we can confirm with those candidates if they are aware about these basic questions or not. So friends, please watch the video till the end. If you have any query, then let me know in the comment box. Okay, let's move further. But before that, if you have not liked, subscribed or notified my channel, so please do that. This video will support me as well if you subscribe my channel. Okay, so let's move further. I'm just starting. This is the recorded screen of the interviewer person, between the interview person and the interviewees who is appearing for interview. Okay, friends, please listen carefully. I'm going to play this.
Sahil, so as per your resume, it shows that you are knowing Java. So can you just tell us what do you know about Java?
Okay, so Java is a multi-purpose language that are used across the application. Like some of the companies that use Java would be Spotify, then there would be Airbnb, there would be Uber and stuff like that. Judging from that, we can say Java can be used for streaming purposes as well as for social media platforms as well. Like LinkedIn also uses Java. So we can say that Java is a multi-purpose language and it can run across multiple platforms as well.
Okay, good. So based on this, can you just tell us any five features of Java?
Okay, so one of the feature of Java would be it is simple. It is, when I say simple, I don't mean like it's a cakewalk, but rather its syntax is very similar to C and C++. Apart from that, many of the concept of C and C++ are removed, which could cause security concerns. Like there are pointers and reference variables and stuff like that. So those are removed. There is multi-threading that can be used in Java as well. And it is almost a object-oriented language. I am saying almost an object-oriented language because we use primitive data types, thus making it not a purely object-oriented language.
Okay. So can you just tell us the reason why Java it's a platform independent language?
Okay, so Java is compiled in two steps. Like first of all, you compile the Java, it converts into a .class file, and then .class file is uh, does go inside of the JVM, that is Java Virtual Machine, after which it compiles and runs the code, and thus making it platform independent because JVM it is built by the customer specification. When I say customer specification, I mean like Windows, it will be different JVM, while for Ubuntu, it will be different JVM, or for Apple, it would be a different JVM, thus making it a platform independent language.
Okay, good. So can you just explain what is JVM?
Okay, so JVM is a Java virtual machine. There are many things inside of the JVM. Like there is a class loader inside of JVM that loads the class based on the requirement of the program. And there is also bytecode checker and stuff like that as well inside of JVM.
Okay, good. So have you heard about JDK, Sahil?
That is Java. Yes, I have heard about JDK. That's Java Development Kit.
Okay. So what do we get in the JDK file?
What do we get in the JDK file? As in, I'm not able to understand the question.
Okay, so can you just tell us the components in the JDK file? What will you find in the JDK?
No, I'm not aware of the same.
Okay, no worries. Yeah. So can you just explain about the main method? Have you used it? The main method?
Yes. So main method is a entry point of a program. So each and every program that you compile should have a main method through which the program knows that I need to start the execution from this specific point.
Okay. So can you just tell me the syntax for the main method?
Okay, so syntax for the main method would be your access specifier, that is public and static. After that, that would be the return type, which is void, because main method does not return anything. Apart from that, there is main as a name of the function or method. After that, in the curly bracket, I mean the round brackets or in the parameters, we need to write string array and arguments for the same.
Okay, good. So can you just tell why we are having that main method?
Sorry, your voice got cut off for me. Ma'am, I am not able to hear you right
Roshni,
now.
you are not audible. Can you check once? No. You want to switch off and reconnect audio? Just try resetting the audio.
So am I audible now?
Yes, yes, yeah. Please
Yes.
continue.
Good. Thank you. Yeah, so Sahil, I was asking that why is the main method static in Java?
Because we can reference it using the class. Like when we run the Java code, we say Java and then the name of class. Based on that name of class, we can directly execute it without making any kind of an object.
Okay. So fine. If say for example, if I write, if I don't use this keyword static in the main method, so will my program work?
It will compile successfully, but you may face error in runtime. Like for example, it may say that the given function main method is not present.
Oh, good. So now since you have mentioned about error, right? So can you just tell us what do you mean by error and exception handling?
Okay, so exception there can be of two kinds. There can be a compile time exception, while as well as there can be a runtime exception. What do I mean when I say compile time exception? While writing the code, you want to check some of the some of the things, and the error you face while compiling the error, compiling the program, that would be a compile time exception. While executing the code and you are facing some kind of an exception, that would be a runtime exception. Easiest example I can give of compile time exception would be while connecting the JDBC session, while compiling the JDBC, you may get the SQL exception, like say insert query is wrong, or some delete query is wrong, or you misplaced something and stuff like that, like class.forName is not written and stuff like that, right? Apart from that, if I had to give an example of runtime, if you're iterating over the loop and you are dividing a certain number, and by mistake the number that you are dividing is divided by 0, you may get an exception of arithmetic exception. Arithmetic exception. So you need to handle both of those exceptions.
So wait, so can you just tell us what are the keywords or the mechanism available for exception handling in Java?
Okay, so you can do exception handling in two ways. Like you can write try catch block, or you can use throws as a keyword, throw keyword. So try catch block, it consists of three basic things, from which one is optional. There is try and catch, and in the catch block you need to give the exception that can occur. Like SQL exception is one of the class. Apart from that, there is arithmetic exception, or the exception as a class in entirety, right? And there is a finally block. So finally block is such a block that executes regardless the flow goes inside of the catch block or not. And those keyword works very similar to that. There is some syntactical difference that are present while using throws keyword.
Okay. So now, say for example, we have a program in which we are having a single try block followed by multiple catch blocks. So
Yeah.
is it a valid program? So
Yes, that's a valid program. Okay, so that's a valid program. You can have multiple catch blocks inside of a single try. You can even have nested try blocks. Like inside of a try block, you can have multiple try blocks as well. When I say try, I mean try and catch block entirety. And yes, you can have multiple catch blocks as well. Like you are checking for SQL exception and you are checking for exception itself.
Okay, good. So, meanwhile, you were explaining about the keywords, right, that are being used. So, can you just tell me, you told me about the throw and throws keyword, right? So,
Right.
can you just tell me the difference between throw and throws keyword in Java?
Right. So first of all, there is a syntactical difference between throws and throw keyword. One is written after the class, and second one is written while you are checking some kind of a error. Like same in my example, basically throw keyword is used to go to the exception block essentially. So let me give you an example. Let's say you are in your program, you are checking if the age is greater than 18 or not. Okay, you made a custom exception block for the same, and in case the age is less than 18, you are writing a throw keyword, right? So throw age is less than 18, and then the message for the same. So in that way, you can use the throw keyword, and throws keyword is usually followed by the name of the exception, like SQL exception or say arithmetic exception or exception as an entirety. IO exception is there as well.
Okay, good. So, now moving on. So, say you have mentioned about the finally block, right? And you might have also used the final keyword, right? So, can you just tell me the difference between final and finally?
Right. So final is used in the exception handling, while final is used in a variable or method or in a class. Right. So like I was saying, finally will be used in exception handling, while final will be used inside of a method, variable, or class.
Okay. So now moving on. So say for the variables, right? Now we have talked about the variables and all. So can you just tell me what are the default values that can be assigned to variables and instances in Java?
Uh, I am not able to understand the question. What do you mean by default variables? When I say default variables, if I say
Just a
int
moment.
I,
Sahil, I would like to just interrupt. Sorry. So my question is, means what are the default values that are assigned to variables and instances in Java? So my question is that
like you
default
can
values.
right. So if you just write int I, that would be it would assign 0 to it. While if you say int float, float and then the value of j, it will assign 0.0f to it. While double will be 0.0d, and the string will be a null string. That would be /u000 in the Unicode.
Okay. You might have heard about the collection framework in Java, right?
Yeah, sure, man.
So can you just explain what are the important class and interface that are available in the collection framework?
Okay, so collection frameworks basically helps you to store the information in a certain way. I would say in a certain way because each and every collection is different in its own way. So one of the interface is list interface, from which you can make array list and stacks and queues and that. Apart from that, there is also linked list as well as hash set and hash map as well. So these were the main 5 types of collections that I have mostly used. That are array list, linked list, hash set, and hash map.
Mhm. Okay. So can you just tell me the difference between the array list and array?
Okay, so
Array.
right. So arrays are basically a predefined set of values. Like if I say array of length 5, it will be just the array of length 5. But when I say array list, I can dynamically grow and shrink the size of the array list as well. Thus, but the thing is, arrays are much more memory efficient in my opinion, because if I say array of length 5, I know that this much memory space will be occupied and not more than that. But while I'm saying array list, if I had to increase the size of the array list, I will need to copy the array again and paste it inside of a block, after which I need to add the same. In ArrayList, there is a function called add, in which we can by which we can use and increase the size of the array as well. I mean ArrayList as well.
Okay. So in case of array, how can you add the elements?
In case of an array, how can we add the elements? Like if I want to assign the element, I can do it with the help of indexing. Indexing would be a at index of I, that is a in the square brackets I will write I, or the index like 0 1 2 3. As array starts with 0, I will say 0 1 2 3 in order to assign the values to them.
Okay. So have you used any package in Java?
Package in Java is in.
Yes.
Can you just elaborate a bit more?
Okay, so are you aware of the term
Yes.
package?
Yes. Packages are basically logical grouping or logical folders of Java, which seen inside of a project will be the folder kind of things. Like if I say com.demo. Let's say com.demo.entities, right? So there will be a com folder in which there will be a demo folder in which there will be an entity folder in which I will keep all my entities class.
So any advantage of using package?
While developing the project, if you have the team, it becomes much more easier to manage the classes, and we know exactly where do we need to find the classes. Like if I want to find entities, I will just search the entity package and I will be able to find the class. Like I don't need to search the entire project in order to find a certain class.
So have you used any inbuilt package?
Right. So I have used scanner package. I have also used some IO packages as well, but I have used scanner package.
Okay. So fine. So now moving on to some object-oriented programming, right? So can you just tell me what are the main pillars in OOPS concept?
Right. So main pillars of OOPS concept would be abstraction, polymorphism, encapsulation, and inheritance.
Okay. So can you just briefly explain about the data abstraction?
Right. So basically in program, you don't really want to know what exactly a function is doing. You can do the same with the help of abstraction, while you give the user just the function that they need to execute itself, and they don't need to worry about how it is implemented or which are the different packages which are the different classes rather that are used inside of that specific function. With the help of this, we can achieve abstraction, and thus making it much more easier to understand the project and maintain the consistency of it as well.
Okay, fine. So I would provide you with some options, right? So based on that option, can you just tell me which of the option best describes an example of data abstraction? Okay, so you can just listen carefully. So say for example, I'm having a dollar class with floating point variable, which is private. So this is one of my options. A dollar class with a floating point variable that is private.
Okay.
Then the second scenario, a square class with the getters and setters methods for its width and height.
Okay.
Then a protected point class with public methods.
Okay.
This is the third option. Okay. And the fourth option, say for example, I'm having a car class.
Okay.
With fuel level and add gas methods. Right.
So in the last So in the last example, in the car method, it seems much more appropriate to use abstraction. Like you can have an abstract class vehicle in which you can implement, declare two signatures like fuel vehicle and price or other I forgot the name of the method, but
Add guess.
yeah, add guess. So you can make those two methods inside of that private abstract class, that is abstract methods, and you can extend those inside of the car, and thus you will be able to achieve abstraction.
Okay, and what about the dollar class with floating point variable that is private? So isn't it an example data abstraction?
No, that's not the data abstraction example. I would rather classify it very close to. It's not exactly inside of encapsulation, but I would say it is very close to encapsulation. While the example that you gave of getter and setter method is the example of encapsulation, where you encapsulated everything and you are just using it with the help of getter, setters, and other methods like that. While the third example that you give, that was of the protected thing. Protected, we usually use protected while we are doing some kind of an inheritance stuff, where we just need to use the methods in the child class from the parent class. We can use protected as an access specifier, that is.
Okay. Okay, good sign. So yeah, fine. So now we are done with the technical round. So I would request Pradha to please carry on with the remark. Thank you, Sai.
Thank you, ma'am.
Like this, again I'm requesting to subscribe my channel. Do not forget to subscribe it motivates me a lot. Thank you so much for watching the video. Let us meet you in the next video. Bye friends.